Okay, so we are fast approaching 90 minutes past 9 here on BBC Radio London. My next guest in the studio tonight is the creative talent behind a new TV pilot entitled Spar. Now, it's set in an amateur boxing gym in East London, and it's the story of Isabel, Dwayne, Jason and Anthony, and how the sense of community in the ring supports the characters through the challenges they face in their personal lives. Now, there's a screening in cinemas and boxing gyms in November, and I'm really pleased to welcome them to the studio. Director Anthony Vander, alongside cast members Andre Fyffe and Edwin De La Renta. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you know what? I like that you pause because you don't want to speak over one another. But just for this bit, you can all say hello at the same time. That's totally fine. Anthony, I'm going to start with you. And how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. How's it going?
Yeah, I'm really good. It's lovely to have you here in the studio with me. And I know that we spoke a couple of years ago with some of your former work. So a couple of years on, how the creative juice has been flowing? Is life good?
Life is fantastic. We spoke in 2021. That was my short film finale, which I made in lockdown, and this is the next project since finale. Since then, I've just really been working all on Spar and just doing research, doing a lot of mood boards, writing the script with my co-writer Kate Napoli, and also workshopping with these fantastic actors.
Okay, before we get to these fantastic actors, who I'm sure are chomping at the bit to join in the conversation,
I am actually.
Tell us about the film.
Yeah, so the boxing TV pilot.
The TV pilot, I should say.
It's it focuses on the trials and tribulations of amateur boxers. It's primarily set in one location in East London, Left Hook Boxing Gym. Big shout out to Left Hook. And yeah, with this, how I've kind of been pitching it is Cobra Kai meets the Bear, with I'd say a dash of a huge mega boxing fight. So it's Spar's full of energy. It's full of kind of overcoming adversity. Our mantra is wake up and fight, because I think boxing resonates with everyone in terms of that kind of whole ethos of just wanting to be a better person. And I think boxing instills a lot of discipline, creates community, and yeah, that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to make this pilot. And it's centered around the world of Isabel, who's the main protagonist. She escapes Brighton, and she escapes her ex-boyfriend who is abusing her, and she kind of finds community in Left Hook Boxing Gym. So she's the main protagonist, but it also does center around our three other leads, Dwayne, Jason and Anthony, and yeah, it's a really exciting pilot. I can't wait to share it with the world, because it's just so full of energy. It's got a great soundtrack. Shout out to Arrow Spin, our A&R based in Manchester, and yeah, and that's Spar pilot for you.
Okay, I'd love to hear it. All right, so Andre, I'm going to come to you next. Tell us about your involvement, about your character in Spar.
Well, I was home one day, and Anthony begged me to be a part of this pilot. No,
That did happen.
begged me. No, I'm joking. No. So what had happened was, we had worked. I've known Anthony for many years. We had worked on the short film, and it was really fun. And then we was always like, we should do this. We should create it and do it again, and make it more long form. And there was a need and a hunger from the audience to want to see more. So Anthony went away, worked on it, and then we had this pilot. So yeah, we've been doing this for a while, and it's been an amazing journey.
Okay.
So yeah, and it's just wanting to be involved in a story like this. Like we said before, it's about discipline. It's a lot of fun. My character's a lot of fun as well.
Yeah. Which is your character?
Jason. There we go. I have to think about that.
It's a bit of a bad boy.
A bit of a bad boy.
Wow.
And
The shoe fits.
Actually, I'm really good. Actually, my mum would say I'm a good kid. I'm the good kid from the block. But yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, when Andre sat down at the mic, he was saying, "Oh right, I'm going to turn it up." So that's where that comes from. All right, Edwin, over to you, and tell us about your character and how you got involved with this project.
Yeah, so I've known Ant for a while. Like we actually went to uni together.
We did.
And yeah, obviously I was involved in the first iteration of Spar, which was the short. I think we shot that back in 2017.
2017.
Yeah, 2017. So a while. And after we shot it, because it was still fairly like, you know, we shot like 3 days, right? Was that actually like 3 days a week?
I think it was 2 days.
2 days. And there was multiple locations. So for a short, it was, you know, it was fairly extensive. But Ant was always like, you know, I want to make this like more hi-fi, you know, and get some funding, like get some money behind it and really just turn it up, make it longer. You know, increase the character stories, because there's only so much you can tell in a short. So yeah, I mean, he had kept saying that we were gonna go into this long form idea of it, and yeah, that finally like came to fruition, like a couple of years. So I was happy. I was like, look, you know, I'm gonna make time. Like he reached out to me like way in advance. I was like, I'm gonna make time to make sure I can be part of this.
Did he beg you as well?
He didn't beg me.
You had a few.
Couldn't beg
Edwin
everyone.
had
I'm not as in demand as
Edwin had a few Hollywood
I'm not as
credits,
in demand as Andre, but like yeah, no, you know, obviously like the story's all about community, and I think that's really important. It's something that I wanted to be part of, and something that a story that I wanted to tell. And yeah, my character Dwayne, I played Dwayne in Spar. Dwayne is a character that's conflicted because he's trying to, you know, move forward with his life, and he has this, you know, beautiful girlfriend played by the lovely Lauren. Lauren the Rock, exactly. Yeah. Sorry, Lauren, I remember just saying it, but and you got there before me. But yeah, no. So Dwayne is like super focused on boxing, but Lauren's like, listen, step up. Like, you know, we need to buy a house, and he's just kind of conflicted because he wants to have this career as an amateur boxer, which doesn't pay. You know, there's no money behind it, so it's like that's his journey, and he has to deal with letting the people that he loves down because of this dream that he wants to fulfill so much. You know, so.
And Edwin, did you box yourself?
I did, yeah. So I was an amateur boxer. I boxed for years. So like actually the gym that we shot Spar at, Left Hook, is the gym that I used to train at. Shout out to Matt and Honor and Enzo who own and run the gym. Amazing gym, does a lot for the community in Shadwell in East London. And yeah, I boxed for them, and I coached there as well for many years. So yeah, it was like a homecoming.
So Anthony, was that part of the reason for the casting initially?
Or 100%. Yeah, 100%. It's again, there was a couple of auditions for their roles, but I always kind of deep down knew that I've been a big fan of Andre and Edwin's work for a long time in terms of the shorts they've done.
And me yours, man.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And to see their growth in terms of, you know, Andre was on BBC's very own Casualty.
Casualty.
BBC's very own Casualty. Seeing Edwin doing The Informer, which is Warner Brothers, you know, Bharat, which is one of India's largest films. So I've just been a big fan. But in terms of them having the skill set of boxing and, you know, knowing the world, that actually informed me with the research. Even though I'm a massive boxing fan, there's a massive difference between the amateur system and the professional game. So to get that knowledge and wisdom from Andre and Jordan, who did boxing training, was invaluable.
Okay, and what was the initial film that you did together? What was that called?
Oh, so it went by the same name.
Right. Okay, so then that brings me to you, Andre, because you were in Clued Up, right?
Oh, yeah.
And that was about an aspiring boxer?
No, that was something
Left
left behind.
Oh,
yes. It was aspiring boxer.
I said doctor, boxer.
Yes.
Okay,
I did that many years back.
You have you've been on screen as a boxer before as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so were you able to bring some of what you had learned there, or what was your connection with boxing, if you had one, before doing this
Yeah,
film?
I think I did have a little bit of experience, not as much as like Edwin. I didn't like do amateur boxing per se, but I did a lot of training, did a lot of sparring as well.
And specifically for this, to get in shape for this, or for
Before,
get
even
into the
before,
character?
even just before, and then yeah, once I started, I just always enjoy it. I always like stay fit, and then when you get the opportunity to now use some of those extra activities into a film or into a project, you get to go harder for it. So yeah, with Left Behind, I did get to learn more skill and understood the nuance of it all, and like really push my what's the word I'd say, my endurance of it all, and really like get to actually know like physical strength and like really build it myself in a certain kind of way.
Yeah,
And then with Spar was kind of the same thing as well, like really going back and tapping into like your how strong you really are, how much can you really bring to the character, as well as not just the character but his physical attributes as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. In the short film that we filmed in 2018, Andre did have a particular skill set in boxing, but I think having seen
what was that?
I mean, he had a skill set,
right.
but it wasn't as advanced.
No, not advanced as much as
when we
with
filmed.
yeah.
You know, when we filmed the pilot.
Yeah.
You've come on a long way.
Come a long way.
Well done.
This is thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Talk to me, Anthony, about the choreography of it, because when you box, in order to make it realistic, either you're having an actual boxing match in the ring, and I'm not sure that is going to be the way forward for two actors. So there's got to be some choreography. There's a dance to it. How was that? How was it capturing scenes on film, on TV?
It was a mix of improvisation in terms of with the fight scenes between Edwin and Nicola. Jordan and Nicola and Edwin Jordan. Some of it was improvised because again they have that advanced skill set of boxing. But I think we had Simi, who is an incredible PT based in the Kensington area. I'm hoping I'm getting that right. But we also had Jordan, who was also a fight choreographer. So along with Simi and Jordan, they helped in terms of creating a confidence and creating kind of a structure, as well as Edwin as well. So they gave me confidence, even though I was the director. They gave me a lot of confidence in terms of the fight scenes, in terms of, you know, the safety of everyone, and just really kind of mapping out the fight scenes. But it really is a dance, and I really feel like we captured that dance with the pilot. Again, I think with the short film, it captured a lot of the beauty of the dance. I think with this pilot, it's quite full throttle. It's quite energetic. It actually feels like if you're an audience member that you're actually in the ring.
And well, what an exciting place to be, because it's not somewhere that you're going to be generally speaking, is it? So, you know, having that and being immersed in that way, that's very skillful. I'm in conversation with Anthony Vander alongside cast members Andre Fyffe and Edwin De La Renta, and they are here telling us all about the TV pilot Spar. Okay, so you had a fundraiser earlier on in the year, and tell us a little bit about that, what you were doing there.
Yeah, so initially it started out as showing a couple of scenes from the pilot, along with the behind the scenes and the trailer. But the idea more advanced as it went along, so it kind of turned into the participants and the audience members were going to have a boxing session after the scenes, the trailer, a lot of the promotional. So the event, we actually did this event, it was actually in July. Edwin actually took the boxing session, which I'm incredibly grateful for. And yeah, we raised money for Left Hook Boxing Gym for their amateur boxing program. And yeah, we had their coach. What's the coach's name?
Honor. He's actually the owner.
Yeah.
Co-owner of the gym.
Yeah, he spoke a bit more about the gym, and I think that's something we really want to put a spotlight on amateur boxers, because I think a lot of audience members know about, you know, the Anthony Joshuas, the Lennox Lewis, the Katie Taylors, but I think in terms of, they all come from that amateur boxing program. You know, they're there's the amateur boxing program is the foundation for boxing, and I think if it's not celebrated, you know, it runs the risk of it kind of. I mean, Edwin, you'd know a lot more about it.
I mean, I think like for instance, like people don't realize how difficult like it is for like boxers at that level, and like even the whole tag of like amateurs is a misnomer because like it makes you think that like they're not good or it's like really basic. But essentially, like amateur boxers are semi-pro.
Yeah.
They just don't get paid. So they're training just as much. They are, you know, taking time away from their loved ones. They are taking time away from work. They're balancing work and training, which is like, you know, 5 times a week dieting, all of that stuff. But they're not getting paid, so it's quite difficult. Obviously, if you're a pro, you get paid per fight. You know, and if you're a popular pro and you can sell tickets, that's the main thing. So it is.
What's for the uninitiated then? What takes you from amateur to pro?
Literally just getting a license. Like the normal like progression would be you start off as an amateur, you go up through the ranks, like you go up from like being a novice to being a senior boxer, and then once you've had a couple of fights, like, you know, ideally, you know, you'd want to maybe like box for your country or for your region, get a bit of a name, and then you turn pro. And if you've got a good enough you know, a good enough career behind you as an amateur, it's going to be easy for you to get signed to like something like Matchroom, which is like the biggest promotional company run by Eddie Hearn, which Anthony Joshua is on. And you know, you can get paid like good money every time you fight, you know, like but if not, and you get signed to like a smaller promotional company, it's a lot harder because there isn't as much money behind it. So you know, you're risking, these boxers are risking their health, you know, for entertainment, because that's what it is. We're going to watch people like essentially like, you know, hit each other, like, and the goal is to make each other unconscious, you know. I know it sounds bonkers, but it's just a sport.
I mean, I think that's why I have such a challenge watching real boxing, as in actual boxing matches. I'm all right with Rocky. I love all the Rocky matches, so I probably will love Spar. I won't say probably. I will love Spar. I will love Spar. And Creed. Oh my gosh, Creed, when that came out, oh my gosh, I was all over that.
Is that because of Michael B. Jordan? Was that
it's because of Apollo Creed and following his story. Thank you very much. That character arc. So yeah, all over that. But absolutely, it's a real challenging environment to be in. But the other thing, I'll just stick with you for a moment, Edwin, if I may, is that and it's brought up in this pilot, is the community. I mean, boxing and being in that community can do so much for people's well-being.
Definitely.
And is that something that you witnessed when you were coming through the ranks?
100%. Like, so the history of boxing gyms is actually, they were called like, you know, they were known as ABCs. So like, amateur boxing clubs, or they were like clubs for young boys at the time. So like young working class boys in the streets, instead of like getting into crime or, you know, thieving and that sort of stuff in like Victorian London or turn of the century London. It was all about getting them into a space to like channel their aggression in a positive way. And that's like boxing grew into, you know, this sport where working class people did it, and like, you know, richer people would bet on the working class people. But yeah, essentially they were like community centers, these boxing gyms. So it's always been about community, and it's, you know, like we've got such an epidemic with like young people in the UK right now, you know, joining gangs and stuff, and that's a lot of that is due to the fact that community centers are shut down and closed. Like, you know, youth clubs don't really exist anymore. So like channeling it into boxing, I think more positive role models like Anthony Joshua and like the Katie Taylors, and young people seeing that they can, you know, achieve that success, you know, is important, you know.
And so then when you're doing a piece of work like this, you get the opportunity to reflect some of that as well. So when you are doing work which has some level of responsibility, for you, Andre, when you get to show these aspects of life through the art that you're putting out there, how does that make you feel, and does the how much do the projects inform what you decide to take on? You know, are you always often looking for projects like this where you know that it's going to have an impact and be purposeful as well?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's always just an honor as well, like first and foremost. And for me, I'm always looking for what is like the ground level, like what is the message in this project as well. So So after the boxing and all the movement and like we spoke about before, but what are we actually trying to say about amateur boxing, about even the whole conversation around women in boxing spaces as well? Like that's really tapped into in the pilot as well. So it's like when we want to be a part of these things, of projects, I always ask myself, what is the overall message, and how does my character, what does my character think and feel about that message, and what does my character do to magnify that message? And that's what I kind of like lean in towards, and with this is exactly what it does. And that's what makes me excited to want to get up and want to go and be a part of these kind of conversations.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just before I wrap and let you all go, let me wrap up the interview. I'm going to start rapping. Just in case you were confused by what I said for a moment there. That is my inner thoughts coming out on mic. Let's just find out a little bit more about each of you individually before I let you go. So, Andre, let me start with you. And I know that you went to Sylvia Young. It's a very prestigious stage school, and you've been doing all sorts. We talked about Casualty, and we've mentioned some of the other shorts that you've been in as well. How's the landscape for you right now?
For me, acting is all right, not too bad. I can't complain. I'm looking forward to this pilot being released and having many seasons. Other than that, I've also been producing as well. So recently, I just came off of The Outlaws, which was on BBC One and Amazon Prime. Which was loads of fun. The season finale, and just like lots of development on new projects. I just recently worked on a short film as well with shout out to Johnny Salmon. It's called My Jerome, with Channel 4, and that comes out soon as well online, and it's called My Jerome. So yeah, it's been exciting.
Dreamy Whilst Black.
Dreamy Whilst Black, that's it. Yeah.
Well, it's lovely to have you in the studio.
Yes.
Because as we were saying, you know, when you're in this arts community, you often come across people, so it's lovely to have you sitting before me this evening. And Edwin, same question to you. You know, how is the landscape? Sounds like things are going very well.
Yeah. I mean, primarily, I'm usually a film actor. I usually do films, and I've just dipped my toe into television in the last 3 years. I'm in a show called Ted Lasso. Did the second and third season of that as a guest, and apart from Spar, I've got a couple of other projects coming out. I've got a piece called No Women, No Children, which is really excited about, and another piece called Breezy, which is like a really set in 1970s Chicago. It's all about this amazing woman called Brenda Myers Powell's life, so looking forward to that.
Brilliant stuff. Okay, well, I'm sure that we will meet again, and we'll get you in again to talk about future projects too. Sure. And Anthony, you brought us all together this evening, so wonderful to have you here.
Thank you so much.
And you're key because of this work. Do you have the next works in mind already? You're putting everything into this right now, because gosh, it's been a long time coming.
I think everything's been put into Spar.
Yeah, and because this is going to be continuing work. This is the pilot for a series, right?
100%. And I think with regard to Spar, it's more than a TV pilot. You know, there's such important themes there. I just want to give a quick shout out to Nicola Roth, the lead, Isabel, and also Jordan Pitt. They couldn't be here, but they also put so much hard work in terms of their performances. So I just wanted to give a shout out to them. But yeah, this for me, this is a brand. This is our mantra is wake up and fight. And you know, we're gonna tour boxing gyms as well as cinemas, as well as, you know, be commissioned as a TV pilot. It's universal that we want to take this across the world. So, you know, along with producing and directing Spar, I'm also a full BAFTA member, which happened last year. So I'm doing quite busy with, you know, it's voting season, which is great because I get to watch a lot of films and be inspired by that. But there's also the actors don't know, there's also a feature treatment for Spar, which is we're in some talks. So yeah, it's exciting times.
Exciting times. Exclusive. Did you hear it first?
First time,
yeah, there you go. Well, See, bring it all out. It's just brilliant to have you here in the studio with me this evening. Thank you so much for coming by. And do just let us know then about the TV pilot and November, where people can go in and see things. It's going to be screened with We Are Parable.
Yes, so it's definitely going to be in November. BIFA winners. So it's definitely going to be screened in November. You can follow us at Spar Short Film on socials. Our website is fancyspar.com, very original. My socials are Anthony Vander at Instagram, and yeah, please do follow us on social media, because the audience is everything. They're the reason why we're here, and what when they supported us with this event that we had at the boxing gym, and we're growing and growing. So please, fancy a Spar Short Film.
Can I just do one last quick shout out?
Yeah.
Basically, so Left Hook Boxing Gym, the amazing gym that we shot some Spar at, and where it's based, the heart of the piece, they are doing a fundraiser to get some of their boxers over to Sweden for their next championship. So I think it's just www.lefthook.com or the Instagrams. Instagram Left Hook, search Left Hook Boxing, and support their fundraiser.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
All right, a pleasure to have you in.